Greetings to you in this wonderful home. I'm Sam Olayiwola, a motivational speaker, a coach. I'm happy that you have given me an opportunity to talk to you and to speak to the family. The concept of the program you're about to watch is sponsored by Functional Life Insights. Functional Life Insights is a registered outfit that sets out to discuss issues, fundamental issues, in a very beautiful way and a clearer way, without any ambiguity. It is such that we're about to be employing strategies to make some things meaningful to us and help our life to become functional. One thing I want us to understand is that life has to be directed, life has to be modeled, and life has to be projected. No one should allow life to take its own course without influencing it. Many have turned themselves into leaf on water. Let it carry me to anywhere. No, that is not the best way to live one's life. There must be an input, either planning, having goals that you aim at achieving. By that, you'll be influencing your life towards the right direction. In essence, this program is a little bit different from all that you have been having, in the sense that it's a discussion. We'll be using something like symposia. We'll be having a kind of discussion here and there, such that we can interact. Nobody has monopoly of wisdom. There are numbers on this that you can use to contact me. You can give me more insights to anything that we are discussing. Thank you very much. I want you to know that nobody should have a program without having aims and objectives. That's the purpose that we are trying to achieve. So what are the aims and objectives of this very particular program you're about to watch? One, to make people have interest in what becomes of their lives, to make their life functional, to have inputs that will make their life very functional and meaningful. Number two, to let people realize that planned life brings a better result than unplanned life. When you don't plan life, whatever it brings to you, you have to accept it. But once you try to plan your life, you have expectations. Even when it falls short, you can still try more. That is the type of attitude we are trying to create in people. And three, we want us to realize that your effort will definitely have a result, no matter how it looks like. But without effort, there is no result at all. There is no improvement. There is nothing to expect. But with your effort, you will have hope, you will have expectations, and you have results. How do we go about it? I call that one modus operandi. Our mode of operation is to, first and foremost, employ symposium, talking to people, seminars here and there, to pass across our ideas. Two, we may need to call professionals to discuss some things and we get it across to you. Like if we get to functional nutrition, the type of nutrition that can make your life function very well. I may not be an expert in that, but we will not feed you with nonsense. We will look for somebody who is an expert in that area. You will have it in your home. Why are we having this type of system? Is to bring everything to your doorstep, such that you will have the opportunity to determine when, where, and how you want to watch it. To determine when you can relax and listen to us as you are doing now. I want to assure you, we will try our best to make sure that you enjoy the program. Much more importantly, we will recommend journals. We will tell you some sites that we may have also seen that will help you, so that you can visit, because I personally don't believe in plagiarism. Anything I get from anywhere will be passed across to you is from so source, so that we will not take another man's effort and begin to use it as if we have done it ourselves. That is not my nature. I assure you will enjoy this. You have it in your hand. You are welcome.
Today's topic or theme is components of functional life. what constitutes a functional life? What are the things we can see in the life of a man that will say this man's life is functional? This man's life is not in the doldrum. This man's life is not being wasted. This man's life is active. So there are things that will give us that. But before we begin to talk about components, before we begin to talk about what constitutes or what brings about a functional life, we quickly talk about thoughts that are very, very important to our discussion. Some of them, like, what does it mean when we say functional? When we say something is functional, we are talking about practicability and usefulness, providing little or no room for decoration. When we say something is functional, we are saying something is active. Something is not for decoration, but working. We can go further. We can look at functionalism. When I say functionalism, I mean the principle that the purpose and use of a product or a particular object should determine its shape and design. I am of the opinion that when you consider beauty in any product, there is a beauty aspect. There is an appealing aspect. Packaging. But to me, the most important of all this is its function. Beauty can add color, glamour, but the function a product is about to perform. As long as the product is functional, all other things can follow. But when we move on, we will understand better. So functionality has to do with the usefulness of a particular product. Let's move on. When we talk about series, as we want to be having series, we are talking about sequence, chain of action, progression, one after the other. So we may be having series 1, 2, 3, even on a particular topic. We can finish some in a lecture. We may not be able to finish some in 1, 2, 3 series or episodes. Having said that, let's now go straight. When we say functional life, now we know what it means to functional. But there is need for us to know what life is all about. Many do not know that life is not just 4-letter word. L-I-F-E, life. When you say, what is this? Someone say, it's about life. Well, what is life? What are we talking about? When we talk about life, according to the dictionary meaning, life is the state of being alive as a human being. Life is defined by the dictionary as a state of being alive. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are still talking, you are still moving, you still have life. The ability to grow and produce new forms from qualities, events, and experiences of human existence. Dictionary went further by saying, we can say life is the period between the present situation of a person and the time of death. As long as you are not dead, you are still having life. But life is more than that. They have tried. The people that wrote dictionary have done really well. At least they have given us inlet or inroad into the meaning of life. But life is more than that. Life is more than that. Let's start with the synonyms to life. When we say life, it means to be alive. That is, when you are still on, when you are not off as a human being. It means to be active. That is, when you are still operating. To be operational is to have life. Then, functioning. That is very, very important, especially to our own topic. Life is not just to sleep on a bed and say you are still alive. Yes, those people that are still at the point of death in the hospital, as long as they have not been pronounced dead, they are still much alive. But they are at the lowest ebb of life. They are alive, but at the lowest ebb, almost being extinguished. But what we mean is that as long as you are functioning, you are still very operational. You can move from one place to the other. You can do what you want to do. You can gallivate about. You can move from one point to the other. You are still having correct life. In that case, you have a functioning life. Am I talking to somebody? Your life is not in the cooler. Your life is not dull, but active. That is what we can call life. We can move further by looking at life as going, being operative. As long as you are operating, as we said earlier, as long as you are moving, when you live, you can run, you can walk and do all sorts of things. So life is all encompassing. It cannot be defined just in one word. So maybe the antonyms can be of air. When you have something, the opposite of life, don't forget this lecture or series is about we understanding what we want to understand purely, not just to have a peripheral knowledge of anything. So when we talk about the antonyms, that is the direct opposite, we are talking about being dead. That one is number one. When you say somebody is not alive again, that person is dead. But it's more than that. That is why the Holy Book says, some are dead when they think they are still alive. What does that mean? To be broken is not to have complete life. To be inactive, inoperative, not active. That is, once you are no longer functioning as you ought to be functioning, you are alive, but you do not have a complete life. Life is more than breathing in and out, bringing out carbon dioxide and taking in oxygen. I think that is the way scientists. So life is more than that. Not everybody that is breathing in and out are alive. They may be alive scientifically. That is why I love scientists too. They are not sleeping. They can say somebody is clinically dead. Have you ever heard that word in your life? When they say somebody is clinically dead, what they are saying is that he has not up completely. We cannot go and bury him, but all the organs are no longer functioning. And that person will still claim to have life. But we know that that type of a life can be called pseudo life. Shadow of original life. I hope we are moving into it gradually now. So what we are saying in essence is this. Life is not something to be defined. It's something to be experienced. Something to be active about. So this moment, I want to use an important concept to define life so that you will understand somebody in this world captured the essence of life, what life is all about. If we can key him into the definition of our great Mother Teresa, we will understand life so much. If we can key him, oh no, 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 no. I love how Mother Teresa defined life. And I want us to look at our own definition. According to her, life is an opportunity. Benefit from it. You can see life as an opportunity. Opportunity to live, opportunity to move, opportunity to have, opportunity to eat, opportunity. As long as you have opportunity in life, you are still having life. But if you refuse to benefit from it, your life is not functioning. It's not a functional life, but it's dysfunctional. It's inactive. That is why Mama Teresa said, it is an opportunity, benefit from it. We can move further. According to her, life is beauty. Life is beauty. A singer once said, this world is beautiful. But what makes the world beautiful is what? Life. The beauty of the world is life. Life is beauty. Admire it. So you are still having life when you can admire. Admire beautiful things. Admire roses. Admire beautiful structures. You are still having life. Mama went further to say, life is a bliss, or life is bliss. Just taste it. Just have a taste of life. Anyone that is no longer tasting life and life becomes tasteless too, that person is no longer having a functional life. Are we moving into it gradually? We understand better. According to her, life is a dream. Realize it. As long as you are dreaming, as long as you are thinking about the possibility of achieving certain things in life, you are very much alive. All you need to do is to move forward to actualize your dream. That makes your life more functional than others. Life is a challenge. Meet it. Anyone that is running away from challenges of life is not having a functional life. How can you say you are a champion without a battle? Before they crown you as a champion, whether in athletics, whether in sports, wrestling, and all those, you must have met challenges and overcome. So if there are no challenges, how will you know you are still very strong? So according to Mama Teresa, what's a great woman of blessed memory? Life is a duty. Complete it. Life is a duty. That is when duty calls, lazy people will run away. Life that is not functional will not be able to perform any duty, whether as husband, as a wife, as a child, as a leader, as a follower. Once you are still very much alive, you have a duty to perform. Failure to perform your duty as expected of you shows that your life is no longer functioning or is functional. Let's go further. To Mama, life is a game. Just play it. Life is just like a chess game. Use your brain, use your intellect, use your understanding to outwit others. That is part of life. Life is a promise. Fulfill it. Yes. We can take that one back to our Creator. God created us for a purpose, to achieve certain things in life. So, our best option will be to fulfill the hope or the desire of the one that created us, and that is God. So it's a promise of returning back to our Creator as a best performer. So when you are living well, you need to fulfill promises here and there. Life is sorrow, overcome it. I think Mama Teresa has broken life into pieces that needs to be assembled together, so that you will not just see life as a bed of roses, just rejoicing, jumping up and down. There are part of life is sorrow. Those that really have understanding of life, whenever they encounter sorrow, they see it as part of life. If you see sorrow as absurd, as outside life, you don't know the real definition of life. In my own culture, they said, you will like, you don't want sorrow. You are going to pick one. Either to live very shortly and go back to heaven, or be ready to face challenges, sorrow, and troubles of life, as long as you are willing to live long. Life is a song. Sing it. Mother Teresa believed that life is a song. No wonder she was one of the best philanthropists that passed through our world. She understood life more than contemporaries. She had a very broad perception about life that made her a great philosopher of our generation. Life is a struggle. Accept it. If we can get all this into our understanding and perception, life becomes to us. Life to her, and I believe, is a struggle. Just accept it. Life is a tragedy. The tragedy of life. Confront it. Don't think you can run away from tragedies. That is why you will see people lamenting when there is a loss of a beloved one. When somebody loses a beloved one, they will lament. That is part of life. You can't run away from tragedies of life. Let's move further because of our time. Life is an adventure. Dare it. Life is an adventure. If you are an adventurer, you will enjoy life more than a passive person. That is, if you are adventurous, you love to carry out adventures, you will enjoy life more than somebody. Do you know that travelers are well experienced and enjoy life more than people that sit where they are giving birth to, they grow there, and they finish their life there? People go on voyage, they go on expedition, they go on, these are adventures. They want to know new things, new culture. That is life. Life is not supposed to be on a sleeping mat, but it's an adventure. Oh, Mama said life is luck. Make it. That definition, I love it for one reason. Many of us, including myself, did not believe in luck. I believe in hard work and then prayers. But experience have shown that there is element of luck in life. A good example, two teams in competitions, they will have prepared very well and they will play very well. In fact, everybody will judge the two teams as very great. Now they will need one to qualify, and they have played draw, and somebody must win. After all said and done, it's either it results into penalty kick, which becomes a matter of luck, or they toss coin. That is the most painful of all. After all they have done, they will say, let us toss coin. You take head, you take tail. There are only two sides to a coin. When somebody say head, the other one must take the tail. And when they roll it, it's either the tail wins or the head wins. Then that one depends on what? On luck. But people like us that believe so much in God will believe God is our luck. That God is the decider of what happens, which is very correct. Let's move further. Life to us is too precious. Do not destroy it. Honestly speaking, most people that commit suicide, they have not seen life from this perspective. Suicide is meant for people that do not understand how precious life is. Life is so precious. Life is so precious. Do not destroy it. Life is life. Fight for it. That woman must have been a great philosopher. Life is life. Fight for it. Life is life. The way and whatever form it appears, life is life. That is Mother Teresa's definition. From this wonderful definition, there is no way you perceive life that it does not worth living. There is no way you perceive life that it does not worth living. If life presents itself to you as a tragedy, then you are not expected to quit. You are expected to face it, confront it. If it throws up challenges onto you, kindly meet it. In essence, life is worth living, no matter from which angle we look at it. No matter your perception about life, life is worth living. Oh, what kind of life am I living? What kind of life is this? That kind of life is still very, very needed. Without that kind of life, you as a person will not have been around. Life really worth it. Let us know that today. Let's take a look at a great author, Oscar Wilde. Come and see the way he looks at life. To him, life is far too important a thing ever to talk seriously about. There is no way we can talk about life that we can come to the logical conclusion about life. It's too wide. It's too serious. We continue to talk and talk and talk about life. So we can now combine the two. I've been able to give you definitions about functional life, functional and life. Let's now bring the two together to now move to where we are today. Functional life. What is functional life? Functional life is the type of life that is operative, working, active, and it is wonderful. In essence, a functional life is a life that is useful and practically alive. The first thing you must know about life today, about functional life, is that a functional life is not meant for a decoration. Not a decoration. What does that mean? There are two ways the life of a man can become a decoration. Number one, when somebody uses his own life to decorate another man's life. How do we come about that? Your life is beautiful. My life is beautiful. But the moment someone fails to realize the beauty in his own life, and he chooses to appreciate, he chooses to see the beauty in the life of others, to the extent that he now removes the beauty in his own life to appreciate the beauty in another man's life endlessly. for pecuniary gain, for just what to eat or what to gain. That person is living a life meant for decoration. A good example, all the all right sir boys, they call them all right sir, all right sir. They see you, they will say son, sir. They are using their own life to decorate other people's life, as if those that they are eulogizing, appreciating, have 2, 3, 4 heads as a single man, or that they have 7 lives, that when death comes, one will be cut off, another life will emerge from the same person. We are equally born. We may not be equally talented. We may be equally talented, we might not be equally operating the talent. That is why some people use their life to decorate somebody. You can do any legal work in your life. There is nothing like menial job. What we call as menial job is something that brings food to the table of some people. It's something that some people are doing to send their works or children to school. But if you refuse to do any legal job, any meaningful job, all you want to do in life is to see a powerful guy, a money bag, that you will go and salute every morning for what to eat, then your life is a decoration. There is a nation in Africa. Why the nation is backward to today, empirical evidence shows that those that are in the majority, especially of an ethnic segment of the nation, they were decorating lives about. Their own principle or culture is that when a man has money, about 200 great people will not need to use their own life again. Every morning they will troop to the house of the one that has money to go and sing, dance, play with him for pittance, for things to eat. Whereas among those people doing that, we could have produced professors, doctors, and bankers, but they have subjugated their own lives in order to decorate another man's life. That is one of the problems of that particular nation in Africa. If we move further, the second way man can use his life as a decoration, as long as you allow your life to stay on a spot. Every decoration in your house is on a spot until you move it. Am I making sense? Whatever you use as decoration in your house or in any apartment, it remains on the spot until somebody think of carrying it to another spot. If that is the case, any life that is not being engineered by the person that has the life, that wait for somebody to come and trouble you before you can do anything, is a decorative life. It's just there. The essence of functional life is for you to begin to think about how you can make your life meaningful. You need to be proactive. You need to be active. You need to have correct perception about things. Life is about being very active, moving from one end to the other. I want to submit that to gallivate on an important issue from one end to the other is far, far better to be fearful and remain on the spot. So, if you don't allow life to throw anything at you, then you are active. Let us quickly look at the word of a writer. According to Hans Christian Andersen, just living is not enough. One must live having sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. When you say you are living, according to this great man, Christian Andersen, you must have sunshine in your life, brightness. Your life must be very bright. Your life must be moving. Then you need freedom. You need not to be gargled. You need not to be overrun. I wrote something. Whether it is published already or still in my archive, I cannot really pinpoint. But I said, man can only be advised. You can only be advised on what to do, but not railroaded into doing anything. Anytime they force you to do anything, your life is, you are enslaved. Simple. So your life must have freedom. The ability to decide what you want, how you want it, and when you want it. That is the life that belongs to you. So, as long as you do not allow your life to stay on a spot, and you allow your life to be productive and result-oriented, then your life will be functional. Let's quickly look at something from the Holy Book. Two brothers had quarrel, Esau and Jacob. And Esau was complaining to their father that this man has taken my own blessing. The father gave him an advice that money can never purchase. The father said, don't worry yourself, my son. There is a condition. If you can meet the condition, if you can take to my instruction, you are likely to have your group back. You are likely to have your blessing back. You are likely to succeed. He said, by your sword you shall live, and you will continue to serve your brother, but it will come to pass when you become restless. That's the word. That is the key word. That is the $1 million word. When you become active, when you become functional, when your life becomes extraordinarily active, when you become so restless, then you shall break the yoke of your brother off your neck. As long as you are resting on your God, as long as you are enjoying a dull life, you will continue to be oppressed. You will continue to live under serious oppression. But when you become restless, and let's be sincere, those that will make it in life, they are the people that are restless. They hustle. Their life is functional. They know where to be and when to be. But when you are resting too much, I want to believe that the Holy Bible is full of wisdom. A passage says, you sluggard, sleeping every now and then, go and learn from ants without supervisor, without guard. They know when to rise and look for food. So if life is restless, with the grace of God, success is ascertained. Let's move further. There are so many bodies upon us. We have family costs. We have a lot of things that we can be talking. Evil antecedents that we need to remove. Poverty. A lot of things. But the condition is for us to be restless and keep kicking, keep moving. That is the functionalism required for success. As long as you are functional, as long as you are active, success is within reach. According to Reber, McIntyre, to succeed in life, you need three things. I love that. You need wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. I translate. According to Reber, these three things are very, very important for anybody that wants to succeed. My translation, you need the bone that is willing to kick, to move, and jack. Your bone must not be resting. Your bone must not be sleeping. There must be fire in your bone, itching you, making you restless, making you ready to struggle. If your bone is not willing or wishing to perform, your life is not functional. Also, there must be backbone that represents ability to withstand prayer in life. If I may give my immediate experience in life, I may enrich this discussion with that. I have this wonderful presentation to make, and after all said and done, I got home 11:30 p.m. last night without food. So by the time I finished taking food, that will be around 1 a.m. Very, very unusual, but situation called for it. And I had to prepare my family for this wonderful period. So I went to bed 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. I was up. And I've never, maybe because of this wonderful thing in my heart, have never been so agile in my life. I felt something very strong. I felt strongly about myself. I felt so happy. I did all the necessary domestic things that I needed to do without any stress. Those 2 hours was more than enough for me, or were more than enough for me to achieve what I want to achieve. There is need for you to have a backbone that can absorb prayer. That is the essence. If you are the type that you are not ready to be prioritized, you are the type that will not want to face herculean tasks. Remember our definition of life. It could bring trouble, tragedy, sorrow. But as long as you have absorbing power that can absorb prayer, you march ahead, you move ahead, and your success is guaranteed. Number 3, that the man recommended, and I wish we can look into it very well, is the funny aspect of it. A funny bone. What does that mean? There is need for relaxation. That's adage says, walk without rest, make Jah a dull boy. Many people don't know how to relax. Life is not about 100% work. There will be the need to lower guard, the need to relax. That is why in civilized society, every year they will plan their holiday period. As a year is starting, they know when they are going for holiday. It might be family holiday or individual. At times it might be called retreat. So you must have a relaxing aspect of life. Not only sleeping or resting. Some people are so busy that they find it very difficult to smile. Oh, they are busy, and because they are busy, Smiling is a work. Smiling is an additional effort that they will not want to add to their problems. And such people, they grow old fast. If you don't learn how to relax your jaws, your face, wrinkles will come in very soon and you become old. Check it out. Those that know how to smile very well, laugh as at when due, they grow younger and their age is incomparable to their wonderful appearance. I hope something is coming out there. In essence, when we say functional life, we are not trying to say that your life should be so functional that you are not ready to relax or do anything but work and work and work. Even at times, relaxing with people can show that your life is functional. Part of functionality of life is relaxation. Let's move further. We can now say that as long as your life is functional, you cannot wait for your fortune, but you meet it midway. A functional person will never go and sit somewhere waiting for fortune, blessing, but you will continue to labor, continue to struggle, continue to move ahead until you meet your success midway. If you see anybody that is waiting for his success, that person's life is dysfunctional. It's not active. It's not moving. It's not mobile. But when your life is functional, whether what you are doing is bringing the best results or not, you prefer to be active than. That is why you see some people, what they are being paid can be seen as peanuts. But they felt that no matter how small, as long as it's making them to be fully engaged, to be active, they are willing and are ready to manage it for now. But when you see people that wants to relax, finally, lazy people, they will say, when I get something better, I will work. But for now, the problem is this. As long as you relax your bone, when you get better opportunity, you will not fit in. Because you would have relaxed in such a way that your bones will not want to work again. In essence, there is no room for laying about. The moment one waits for fortune to come, such a person will not achieve anything worthwhile. Such a person might find it difficult even to recognize virtue, because you have to learn how to recognize gold. It takes a functional life to recognize gold, especially when it has not been polished. So let us move to the main topic for today. Having done the introduction about functional life, we now move to components of a functional life. Let me say this briefly before I begin to introduce that to you. The question you have to ask yourself is this: if I choose now to make my life functional, what are the things that must be functioning in my life before I can achieve my desire of a functional life? It will be very, very unrealistic to just wake up and be jumping up and down so that they can say your life is functional. Components of a functional life. I want to start by saying that for us to understand the concept of functional life very well, I want us to see it as a car. The mechanism behind a functional life could be best understood by assuming life to be a car. If a car is taken as our prototype, as our consideration, then understanding a functional life becomes an easy job. Before you can say a car is functional, there are parts that must come together. So if one part of the car is not functional, you are not likely going to have a functional car. A functional car will have different functioning parts and components before you can call it a functional car. So what do we mean by functional components of a functional life? Here we are talking about ingredients, elements, that is the basic or constituent parts that will produce a functional life. That is, for us to understand how functional life emerges or come about or evolve, it could be seen as a car mechanism. When a car is said to be functional, what comes to mind? Number one is the engine. Any car that you say, oh, this is a wonderful car, this is a beautiful car, you can never judge a car to be okay without an engine. And let me say this without fear. The functionality of a car is not just about the beauty of the car. If a car is well designed with a beautiful aerodynamics and a beautiful interface and probably a fiber body shining, if you open the bonnet of the car and you discover that the car has no engine, do you have a car? That is why I said at the beginning of this lecture that it's about functionality, not just the beauty. Beauty is an additional thing. What makes a car functions well is the engine. It's the same thing. So we want to take our life as a car. So I will now begin to juxtapose, put car beside life or human life. Are we ready for that? Let me start by saying that the engine in a car can be likened or called the heart of a man. The human engine for functional life is what? The heart. It is the heart. The heart of a man is the engine that makes a man's life function very well. A man's life becomes dysfunctional when the heart becomes inactive or dysfunctional. For a man to have a functional life, the heart of a man must be functioning well before he can attain greatness. No wonder Jesus said, it is from the heart of a man that everything comes out. But when we look at the heart, we will come to it one by one. All these components I am just about to mention or list them. A time is coming, we will now pick them. That is where we will need professionals We will discuss it from social angle. We will discuss it from layman's angle. Then when we get to areas where you need professional touch, we will not mind to look for those in that area. But the most important thing that I want you to know today is that there are lots of sides to a man's art. We have the scientific side of functions of the art. We have the social function. We have a lot of things. We will get it as time goes on. So what we are saying in essence is this: if the art becomes dysfunctional, the person is as good as dead. In fact, when the heart stops, a man's life ends. I hope you understand that. At the expiration of a man's heart, his life expires. Beautiful. We can be talking about biological function as mentioned. We can be talking about the perception and goal-setting function of your heart. If your heart is still functional, you are very, very hopeful. That is the engine of your life. That is the engine of your life. When you are talking about functional life, the principal aspect of it is a functional art. A functional art is the bedrock of a functional life. Is that taken? Let's move on. As great as the engine is to a car, as wonderful as the engine, because the engine sprays, engine will spray this, spray that, service this, help this. Do you know that a functional engine cannot move the car alone? There will be the need for a functional gear. If there is no gear in a car, the car will have its own problem. Be it automatic or manual, there must be a functioning gear. The gear that can determine the speed and the acceleration. The engine cannot just be moving without having something helping it. So in that case, when you talk about human life, we can call it functional earth. Your earth is the gear that moves you here and there. Your heart, if your heart is sand, you are likely to have a sand earth, but it does not follow. At times, a sand heart may still be accompanied with a lot of troubles as far as earth. So a functional earth. What do we mean by all this? What we mean is that when we want to talk about functional life, we will be talking about all these things one after the other. Functional earth can take us the next 4 or 5 episodes or series when we get there. I want to see how we can attain a functional earth that translates partly to a functional life. I hope you are getting the interwoven, how they are related. Am I communicating? A functional heart to be accompanied with a functional earth that serves as the gear, as you are likely to have it in a car. In essence, without a functional earth, no man can achieve a set goal. It is good to set goals, but you need earth that will support, that will help you, that will make it easier for you. So when we are talking about functional earth, we'll be talking about what you need to observe, what you need to do, how you need to rest, how you need to achieve a functional earth that can help you to have a functional life. We must realize that as long as the heart is willing, but the body becomes weak as a result of ill health, life enters a dysfunctional realm. What am I really trying to pass across? As long as your engine, the earth, is very sound. You are there, about to move. But the moment earth is not performing well, if your earth is not functional, it means the heart is willing, the body is in trouble. So, a dysfunctional earth will lead to a great problem. At this junction, I need to remind you that a car with engine, a car with a beautiful gear, can still not move an inch without the wheels. Vehicles move on wheels. It has to be rolling. Can call it rim, tires, and what have you. What does that represent in a functional life? That is what I call functional family. Functional family. At this junction, we need to remind ourselves that car needs wheels on which to roll. Likewise, a functional life will require a functional family to reach its full potentials. Whenever we are motivated, that's why we have motivational speakers in which I can be one as a coach. But as much as we love to motivate people, we must be able to put some things in place to help people to achieve their goal. Set your goal, set your goal, set your goal. Fine. But as much as I'm ready to support you setting your goals, I must confess to you, be mindful of the engine that will help you to achieve the goal, your heart. Be mindful of the gear, your functional earth. And be mindful of component number 3, that is functional family. You can reduce it to nuclear family. I am not disturbed. But I was teaching somewhere. I have the video or whatever. I told them, I said, many people set goals, achieved the goals, and became sad at the end of the day. They were looking at me. What's the meaning of that? I said, yes. I want to become a chartered accountant. What a laudable goal. And truly, far. That person will lose wife if he's not managing family very well. That person will lose children. Children will not die. Oh, that's not what I mean. Oh. Losing children means the children will be his children, but they will not see him as their own father. How? 5 a.m. accountant to be has gone out. 12 midnight, accountant to be is back. Let me give you an experience, maybe to help. I learned that there was a man, very hardworking a man. Every time he will go home, go out as early as 5 a.m. He will come back when the children will have slept. He said one day, the man went to work and forgot something at home. He had to take permission, I must go home. And that will be the first time such a thing will happen. Even weekends, the children will not see. So they said, the first person to come out was his second daughter. To say, oh, somebody is knocking, who is at the door? And the father said, come and open the door. And the girl ran inside to meet the mother and said, a stranger is looking for you, ma. The mother said, I have no appointment. The man was shouting downstairs, come and open the door for me now, you are wasting my time, I want to fix something. The woman came out. I said, that's your father. The guy said, my father. When the man came in, he said, what's going on here? They said, your daughter could not recognize you. The man said, I am resigning here. I am not working again. Except there is a work that we can be working together as a family. That was how the man quit the job and left everything. It's allowed. But The man could have managed it well if he had been opportune to have what we are having today. That there is need for functional family. When we get there, we will talk about it fully. We will know what constitutes a functional family. You can pick it, you can limit it to nuclear family because of, but to me, I believe also in extended family. But that is for another day. So having said this, let us quickly look at Thomas Jefferson, who summarized the importance of family to us. He said, the happiest moment of my life have been the few times which I have passed at home in the bosom of my family. The happiest moment, according to that man, or the moments of his upscaling, happiness, joy, will always be the time he spent with his family. We all have families. We should not allow what you want to become. If your family is not functioning well, let me be sincere. Most pastors, most hardworking guys, they don't have functional families because their mind is always fixated on what they wanted to become. It is not like that. I don't want to mention the name of a great minister of God who said, I was buying everything to satisfy my wife, sending everything, but I was because I wanted to win souls, I wanted to do this, and one day the wife called and said, the wife of a man of God should not commit adultery, and I don't want to commit adultery, so I want divorce, so that I can go to where I will see my husband. You can imagine how the man felt. Begging people and rescheduling his time for programs. So, put family is a component of a functional life. A functional family will help to achieve a functional life. I am talking about components. Let's move on. That one, we call it in the car, wheels, tires that carry people on. We can move on and on. Do not forget our mechanism, the car has many other parts. You don't just, I've mentioned engine, I've mentioned gear, I've mentioned wheels. Oh, there are so many things that make a car a working car or a functional car. Let me just mention some. There are some other components such as functional education. A life will be more functional if education is functional. A dysfunctional education will give you a dysfunctional life. It's as good not to have whether formal or informal education than to have wrong education. But when your education is functional, I had the opportunity of speaking to a former governor in one of the states in Nigeria of blessed memory. I said, sir, when we were in school, you gave us free education. And people were trying to rubbish it that after the education, which work will you do? You are wasting your time. You better come and learn this, you better come and learn that. I said, but some of us felt we must utilize the opportunity you have given us, sir. The man prayed for me. He said, the essence of our education is for us to make it functional. He said, if you want to be selling firewood, come and have basic education. If you want to be selling anything, you want to be a fashion maker or anything, make sure you acquire needed education generally. And what does that suggest? The problem with us in the world today is that those that have education, majority are not making it functional. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about something very important to me, and I may have to start there when the time comes. Functional relationship. Relationship that is active, achieving, propelling, helping. Many do not know that relationship has to be functional. But when we get to functional relationship, you will need to know the types of relationship, how we can make it functional. Most of the people that their lives are rendered useless today is as a result of dysfunctional relationship. That is why they say if you join a bad gang, you are likely to end up being a bad person. He said, show me your friends. I will let you know who you are. So in essence, relationship has a big role to play. If you have a functional relationship, your life becomes functional. This could be as a result of encouragement, counseling. Functional relationship covers a lot of things. It's not just about what one can gain from a relationship. It's about what one can contribute as well. So we'll be talking about functional religion. I don't mean Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. No. Functional religion. Any religion you belong to that makes you a sadist, that makes you a wicked person, is a dysfunctional religion. Religion is supposed to, be for reformation, to reform one's life, to help you to become what you want to become. But when your religion is such that makes you wicked, that makes you a sadist, as I said, is dysfunctional religion. We'll talk about it when we get there. We'll be talking about functional environment. Many people do not know that environment plays a vital role in what you become in life. Environments affect your productivity or your results in life. There are environments that support, there are environments that support your growth, your success, your breakthrough. And there are some that retard your growth, that hinder one's progress. So we'll be looking at functional environment or society. What type of efforts can you make to make your environment functional? Let me give you a brief example before I round up. Do you know that the way you set your room can affect your sleep? The way you set your study can affect your assimilation. Many people have study room that is packed with unnecessary things. You have a study room with a lot of gadgets. Except those that are doing things that needs to be watched on television or as a video. You need less gadgets in a place. You need quietness. That is why it is recommended that in your bedroom there shouldn't be television. It doesn't help your sleep. You watch television, you think you want to sleep, you are not sleeping. If you sleep, you will still wake up. That is the need for functional environment. Let me help you with this. Many people think those that are spending much money to plant flowers around their vicinity or house or environment are wasteful. They are not. Beauty can meet you early in the morning when you have flowers. You can be inspired by a beautiful serene or environment in the morning. But once you hate those things, you may end up not happy throughout a day. So environment matters. Functional environment. There are lots and lots that we'll look into so that we can now constitute any area we have discussed functionally, and we have realized things that will make it functional. We have succeeded in making an aspect of your life functional. Is that clear? So what will happen is that we'll take all these things one by one. So finally, on the final analysis about our mechanism, our prototype, car. A car is best maintained when it is not far from the manufacturer. Before I get to that aspect, I want to quickly give you an experience. I was driving past a suburb when I sighted a very beautiful car, a luxurious car, very beautiful, magnificent. But I discovered that where it was parked, it was not safe. It was not supposed to be a place that type of beautiful car should be. So I sensed that it was abandoned, but I couldn't get anybody to talk to. After some time, I passed through the place about 1-2 months after. I still sighted the car. I parked my own car. I came down. And I now asked people around, what is this beautiful car doing here? Somebody said, thank you, Oga. They imported this car without knowing how to maintain it. That they were unable to locate somebody who could maintain it well. They said there are 2 options. Is either they return it to where it was brought, or they imported the repairer. I wonder which one will be easier out of the 2. That takes me to the last aspect. I want to look at functional life vis-a-vis the owner of life. There is no way your life will remain functional when you detach yourself from God. God is the author of life. God is the manufacturer of life. God is the one that has given you and I the opportunity to live. In whatever way you want to seek God, in whatever way you want to know God, I am not here to recommend. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to enforce any method on you. I'm only saying that make sure you are not disconnected from God. That is the highest opportunity to remain functional. If you have God, you will be guided by God. If you have God, the Spirit of God will be upon you. If you have God, you can pray to Him for a functional health, a functional life, in whatever way you want to be functional, because God Himself is functional. No wonder it is written in the Holy Book that by separating yourself from me, you can achieve nothing. You cannot be functioning well. But as long as you are in me and I in you, we can jointly remain functional. So I want to say this without fear, that functionality of life starts and ends with God. Thank you very much. I rest my case.